Hello, everyone's. I am here for American Horror Story Season 9, Episode 1. I think this is 1984. You know, it's always a theme. It's 1984. So, it's going to be a lot of leg warmers, a lot of bright colors, a lot of smoking in places that you normally don't smoke it. That type of situation. But I was very disappointed how last season ended. We have this witch who was the most powerful that any witch has ever been. And she kills Michael by running him over front to back, front wheel, back wheel, front wheel, back wheel. And that was it. And I was so disappointed. No spell, no nothing. She went back in time and just ran him over. I was disappointed about that. I was disappointed about the season with the hotel because, like, all the things that could have been, it was vampires. I did not like Roanoke because, one, if I'm somewhere and I see teeth just falling from the sky, I'm checking the deuce and I'm out. I don't need this house, and this house don't need me. One, it's in the middle of the woods, and nothing ever good comes from being in the middle of the woods, which gets us to this season. They're going to be camp counselors. Now, we first start off the episode with a threesome about to be partaken in, if that makes sense. Now, I will say this. I am a firm believer to don't investigate strange noises. Now, if you hear yo baby and you know your baby's sound, go make sure the baby's alright. But if you're hearing strange noises, don't investigate. Just don't do it. And this is what happens when you're not paying attention. Now, this girl, she didn't hear the noise. And instead of listening to her instincts and paying attention to this was a noise that I have never heard before and being on alert, she goes back to partaking in the threesome. And this is when all three of them get killed. I'm like, really? Like, they was almost, didn't even get to start the throes of passion when they were killed. Now, I'm trying to figure out how first dude got killed and second woman did not scream. Like, if I'm seeing somebody getting killed, I'm going to make some type of noise. And how is it that everybody in the cabin was killed and no one made a noise? Nothing? I was very confused about that. Didn't make no sense. Like, he had on some boots that was extra loud. And me, I am somewhat sensitive to noises when I'm sleeping. Like, I can hear the front door open, my bedroom door open. I'm hearing things like that. So I would have been like, I'm not popping up out of bed, but I'm like opening my eyes, being very still, trying to see what's going on type of situation. But nobody woke up during that. I was like, that didn't seem plausible, but okay. Now, I'm just going to say this. If this exercise class, it just seemed like it was musty as a goat in there. I'm just going to put that out there. All these people sweating. It's in the middle of the summer. It was stinking in there. I just know it. Now, I haven't got all of the main characters down because this is a new episode and I did not really feel like going back and delving into it. But, like, some of the main characters I know. Now, they done decided they want to flee from the city because the serial killer is on the loose. I was like, big city where there's a numerous of people he can get to, but y'all want to go to the middle of the woods in the camp where, ain't nobody around to help in case something goes down. Now, me, I have never been one to want to go to camp because camp is in the middle of the woods. And like I said before, nothing good comes from the middle of the woods. I don't even like having too many trees around my house. Like, for real, I got a tree in the backyard and I got a tree in the front yard. But it's still bright enough to where my house isn't, like, surrounded by trees. Never have liked it. I just didn't get it. Like, why y'all want to go out there? It's a lake out there. Ain't no what tell can go into happen at the lake. It's woods out there. You can slip, fall, and break all kind of bones. It's the woods, and that's just creepy in itself. And then on top of that, this is a horror show, so you know what's gonna go down in the woods. Now, the main character, I think her name was Brooke. Y'all know she always on these ones. What's her name in real life? Emma Roberts. Now, when they was after the exercise class, she was the main one talking about y'all need to make sure you keep your windows closed and your doors locked So this person cannot get you. Now, why is it that you was giving out all this, useful information, yet your window was not locked? Your window was open, and I went back and checked because I seen the curtains moving. I had to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing, because I was like, maybe no, them curtains was moving. Meaning your window was open. You just told them to make sure your window was closed. Now this man had got into your house and he trying to rob you. But thank goodness you had you a good cast iron skillet on the stove. Now why it was on the stove, I don't know. I guess I'm paranoid about having things on the stove, because I think that the stove is going to turn on and something going to catch on fire. But you had a cast iron skillet on the stove, and you was able to, protect yourself and clunk old dude a couple of times and send him running off. And the neighbor, he was no help. He was just yelling, "You all right in there? I'm calling the police." And, what's his name? Robert dude, he fled off into the night. Yeah, but he did tell you he gonna come back and get you. Now, y'all, there was several signs that they shouldn't have been going to this camp. And they did not heed those signs. First of all, they went to this gas station that looked, it was just placed in the middle of the woods. Now, at first, I just saw the pumps. And I was like, okay, where is the gas station attendant? Where is the gas station in general? But hey, we finally seen this all off into the back. I'm like, why is it off in the woods? But anyways, like, all these signs. And they was talking about somehow, wait a minute. They tell him how they gonna be a camp counselor and all this other stuff. He's like, oh, y'all going to Camp Redwood? Y'all don't even need to go there. Y'all know what happened there? No, this ain't a place to be. Now, he's telling y'all, don't go there. Warning. And they just not listening. Now, after they done got their gas and made a few phone calls, and I believe his name is Xavier. He played Michael Langdon last season. He called his answering machine because, we in 1984 and we have answering machines. But anyways, and it was a creepy message left on his phone. This is sign 2 that something was amiss. So they driving, and this is when they have a "I know what you did last summer" scene, because they driving and they hit somebody. He walking on the side of the road, and I was like, y'all don't think this weird? This dude, he on the side of the road. He already got some cuts and stuff, and he already talking like, I tried, I did everything. What did he say? Okay, he said, I tried, wait a minute. He tried to do something, and then he passes out. So they just like, well, let's just take him to the camp. They just pick him up. Now, granted, y'all ain't got no type of EMT experience, but y'all not supposed to be picking up somebody y'all just hit on the side of the road. That's not what y'all supposed to do. But they just pick him up and put him in the van and just go about their merry way. Now, as the episode was going on, I was trying to figure out who the killer was in the midst of them, but we're going to get to that in the end. Now, Rita, she is the camp nurse, and she's talking about how the camp been closed for the past 14 years, and she's going on about how she don't have no experience being a camp nurse, and they don't have no experience being camp counselors, and ain't that weird that we all here, but if you knew these things was weird, why are you here? If they trying to give you a job and you don't have an experience for it, I'm going to be like, what's the catch? Because first of all, I'm not trying to be no nurse at no camp, because I ain't trying to be at camp. I'll be a nurse at a hospital, I'll be a nurse at a doctor's office, but I ain't fit to be no nurse at no camp. But she's saying all these things, and she's like, yeah, these things happen. It's like, yeah, this is a ghost story. So it's like, no, it wasn't no ghost stories. And then old creepy camp owner, she come up and talking about some, no, it's true because I was a victim. And she was like, see, the serial killer in 1970s who killed the people in the first scene, he was in the war, killing folks, but he like cutting off their ears and using the souvenirs. And she too was a victim, and she survived because she floated out of her body in a bubble by an angel, and she could look down on her body and see dudes stabbing her, but she felt no pain. Yeah, that's what she said happened. Wait a minute, where am I at? But she didn't cry or none of that. But she said that she spent a little bit of her husband's insurance money to buy this place. I'm like, So, you spent money on a place where you almost died at, just so children can be happy. You could have built a whole nother camp somewhere else. You didn't have to, go back to the place where you almost died, girl. No. You had all that money. You could have went somewhere else. You didn't have to pick this particular place. I just did not get it at all. A stranger dude wakes up alone and scared, like, hold up, why am I back at this camp? Because, what's good? And he's missing the ear. And I'm trying to figure out, Nurse Rita, while you was checking him over and making sure that he was good, you ain't noticed to check his head to make sure he ain't had no, scalp lacerations. And if you had, you would have noticed that his ear was gone and something is amiss. But you didn't. But he warns Book they shouldn't be there and had all the phone lines down and all that stuff. Another warning, get out and get out now. But she just like, oh, he just has a concussion. He'll be fine. Like, no, he trying to save your life. But you not trying to hear it. Wait a minute. So, I can't think of the other girl's name. But last year she played the most powerful witch that ever was that killed Michael Langdon. Yeah. She done met another camp counselor and like, ooh, you good looking, so let's go out to the lake at nighttime and have sex in the water. And the only thing that stopped her was some hit the lights from a car. I'm like, first of all, you don't know this man from Adam. Second of all, you naked in the lake. All kind of parasites is in that lake. Girl, what are you doing in third? You don't know this man. I don't know if I said that first, but yeah, you don't know this man. Child. Then we had the mental facility where serial killer dude was placed. And I'm like, why was he placed in prison? He was taken to a mental facility. Now, yes, he had some kind of mental issues up here going around chopping people's ears off. But I would have thought that, but then I had to think, when he got locked up, this was the 70s and this was a different time and they thought differently than they do now. But it's all the patients, they on the loose. Serial killer dude he gone, he didn't escape. And he was the one from Freak Show, the clown. And that dude was scary as something. Them teeth, yeah. Like the fake one and his, yeah. But yeah, all the patients, they just wandering around in the rain outside. I guess one of the head attendees at the hospital, she goes in looking for him, and how he escaped was he acted like he killed himself. He was hanging from, I guess, a bed sheet or something. Now, I'm no medical expert. I'm no nurse, no orderly, or none of that. But I would think that if you see dude hanging, okay, call for backup. Because dude went in there, and of course he got to say, you're saving taxpayers' money. And dude opened up his eyes and strangled him. Now, I don't pretend to know a lot of medical stuff, even though I'll be watching a lot of medical stuff, but I didn't know it was possible to choke somebody into where their eyes started bleeding. Because he choked this dude to where his eyes started bleeding while he was still hanging, mind you, and just used his foot and, made sure the chair was back up right, got down and went on about his merry way. I'm like, okay, so I guess I don't know what happened. What now, after all these years, he wanted to escape from the mental facility. But I thought maybe you should have had some backup or something. Make sure the chair wasn't close by in case this was something. I'm a very paranoid person. 3rd generation paranoid person. So, I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to say something, and this is in no way racist. But I thought Brooke was a goner. Because if we're going to buy horror story, like in horror stories, if there is a white woman and there's a woods, this is a good chance she's gonna die. That's how it goes in horror story, like super secret movie rules. A white woman, she's going to do several things. She's going to fall, which she did. She's going to be in the woods, which she did. She's going to kind of hurt herself, which she did. And, maybe sometimes she'll make it back to where she was with is like her other people. And then they don't believe her. And this is exactly what happened. It's like all the things were against her. What made me believe that, she wasn't going to make it. She's in the woods. She's been chased by a killer. She falls. She's a white woman. It's like this. These are the makings of a horror movie. Yeah. And since this is a horror movie, she gets back to where her friends are, or friends, because they don't really know her. They met her like what, one time at the gym, and like, hey, why don't you come with us? You know, be camp counselors, even though we don't know you. But anyways, she tells them that she was being chased by the killers. So naturally, you hear somebody being chased by a killer, the men have to go out and protect the women folk and attack said killer. I'm like, what y'all gonna do? What was y'all gonna do? Like, really? Y'all first thought was run out there into the black of night to go find this serial killer? No. How about we lock the door, put some furniture against that door, and we waited out till morning? Because she seen hitchhiking dude, but you know, stranger dude that was hit by the car, ear missing and all this other stuff. So you know, she was scared, running for her life, fell, white woman in the woods type of situation. And when they went back there, hiker dude was gone. And their only explanation is he probably felt better and decided to go home. So he felt better at nighttime while it was raining in the woods to go home after being hit by a car. See, it couldn't have been me, couldn't have been me. And the last thing that got on my nerves is phones start ringing. Now, in nighttime, phone not in the house because we in 1984 at a camp. Why are we going to answer the phone? Because clearly it wasn't for you, because don't nobody know the phone number to where you at. So why are we answering this phone? That call could have waited. You could have just waited till morning. They could have waited till morning because, boo-boo. It's just, even though I wasn't going to be at this camp, I also wasn't going to go outside at nighttime to answer this phone. And when she answered the phone, old dude that broke into her house standing over there. Now, how he found out where she was is beyond me. Now, let's get into who do we think the killer are. Now, first of all, before we get to that, let's talk about how y'all going to be camp counselors at this camp where somebody was killed at. Maybe we should be sober and maybe we shouldn't be doing cocaine. Maybe we shouldn't doing that because, you know, it's all these rocks and baby cliffs so you can trip, fall, break a neck, and now you on drugs and you just bleeding profusely. Not really sure if that's how that works, but y'all go with me. Like, no, maybe we shouldn't doing that. So let's get to who I think the killer is. Xavier off the bat, because he's like, hey, let's be camp counselors, everybody, even though we have no experience. I was like, that seemed a little weird and a little suspicious to me on my part. Rita, the nurse lady, you not being a good nurse because you ain't checked that dude at all to make sure he was all right. Now, granted, maybe it wasn't her because she was in the room, and maybe she could have had an accomplice because she was in the room with everybody while Brooke was getting chased down and having her, you know, moment getting chased in the woods type of situation. Then I was thinking it was a dude that should have been going to the Olympics. He's mad that he didn't make it to the Olympics, so he's trying to take his anger out on everybody else. Could it be, I don't know, serial killer's child? I don't know if he had any kids. It could be Brooke because you made it out of being chased by what could have been a serial killer and you lived to tell a tale doing, you know, going by horror movies. You wouldn't have made it because you were a white woman and you in the woods and you have already fallen. So, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to be racist. This is what happens in horror movies. There's somebody, they always in the woods. They always have to run through the woods and they always have to fall. And they always have to look back. And when you look back, you end up falling type of situation. So, y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on so when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, like it, you can share it with your people. If you're returning, you a family member, you one of my peoples, well, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples. Now, this is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.